Sri Gurubhyo Nama children, welcome to online project Ekalaiva. Today we are going to discuss about chemical kinetics, which is a physical chemistry lesson. So we are going to talk about what is chemical kinetics. First I am going to talk about what is kinetics, from where they have derived the meaning of this word, what is the real meaning of the word kinetics, and what are the various aspects of the chemical reactions. And we are going to talk about so many other concepts in this lesson, like average rate, instantaneous rate. We are going to talk about rate law, rate equation, rate constant, and we are going to talk about the various factors that affect the rate of the reaction. And finally we are going to talk about the graphical representations of rate constant for the first order, zero order reactions, as well as we are going to calculate the half-life period. So up to that the lesson will be over. So we are going to see different concepts in this lesson. So to start with, I am going to start with the meaning of chemical kinetics. What is the meaning of chemical kinetics? So shall we see, children? I want everybody to be ready with your notebook, so that there are so many concepts I am going to cover. So I want everybody's attention here. You please have the notebook along with you, so that it will be easy for you. So you can take the derivations as well as the other concepts. So be ready, children. So I am going to start now. Aspects. There are various aspects of the chemical reaction. Aspects of the chemical reaction. What are the aspects of the chemical reaction? There are totally three aspects. What is the first aspect? The first one, the feasibility. The feasibility of a chemical reaction, the feasibility of a chemical reaction the feasibility of a chemical reaction when delta G is less than 0, when delta G less than 0 at constant temperature and pressure, at constant temperature and pressure. At constant temperature and pressure. And what is delta G here? Actually, delta G is nothing but Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy. So the first aspect is how far the reaction is possible, the feasibility of a chemical reaction when delta G is less than 0, that is at constant temperature and pressure. There is another aspect, the extent to which the chemical reaction proceed, the extent to which the chemical reaction proceed is determined by equilibrium, chemical equilibrium. So we have I have told about the aspects of a chemical reaction. There are three different aspects. The first one is the feasibility of a chemical reaction when delta G is less than 0 at constant temperature and pressure. Actually, this is thermodynamics. So when delta G is less than 0, which is maintained at constant temperature and pressure, we can talk about the feasibility. What is the feasibility? Possibility of a reaction, chemical reaction. Usually it is given by thermodynamic principle where delta G is less than 0. What is the delta G? There gives free energy. Next, the extent to which the chemical reaction, to which extent the chemical reaction is taking place, which is given by chemical equilibrium. The next one we are going to talk about the third aspect. The third aspect talks about the rate at which the chemical reaction takes place. The rate at which the chemical reaction takes place. Is determined by chemical kinetics. So we should know the meaning of chemical kinetics. What is the meaning of chemical kinetics? Meaning of chemical kinetics. Kinesis is the Greek word which indicates kinesis is the Greek word which indicates the movement of particles So kinesis is the Greek word which indicates the movement of particles. Chemical kinetics talks about the Greek word which indicates the movement of particles. Chemical kinetics talks about the rate of the movement of the particles. So this slide here I told about the meaning of chemical kinetics. Actually kinetics is nothing but kinesis. From kinesis only we have derived the word kinetic. Kinesis is nothing but a Greek word which indicates the movement of particles. What is chemical kinetics? Actually it talks about the rate of the movement of the particles in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction. The rate of movement of the particles in a chemical reaction is known as chemical kinetics. We are going to talk about, there are three different types of chemical reactions. Three different types of chemical reactions. What are the three different types of chemical reactions? The first classification is fast reactions. The first type is fast reactions. That is, the reactions that are taking place at a faster rate. The reactions that are taking place at a faster rate are called fast reactions. The reactions that are taking place at a faster rate. The reactions that are taking place at a faster rate are called fast reactions. The reactions that are taking place at a rapid rate or at a faster rate, we can call it as fast reactions. Example, ionic reactions. Ionic reactions. Ionic reactions. The rate is, for ionic reactions, the rate of the reaction is, the rate varies from 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 seconds. So the rate of the reaction varies from 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 for ionic reactions. For example, I am giving one example. Silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride. So silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride. What is the product I am getting here? I am getting a precipitate of silver chloride. Silver nitrate plus sodium chloride gives silver nitrate plus sodium chloride gives silver chloride. I am getting a curdy white precipitate. I am getting a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride. Curdy white precipitate of silver chloride with the liberation of sodium nitrate. So the byproduct is sodium nitrate. So it is an ionic reaction where the reaction is taking place at a faster rate. The rate varies between 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 seconds. So all the ionic reactions are occurring at a faster rate where the rate of the reaction varies between 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 seconds. When you talk about the ionic reactions, I am giving one example. Silver nitrate, when it is treated with sodium chloride, you will be getting a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride with the liberation of sodium nitrate. So here silver nitrate and sodium chloride both are combined. You will be getting a product of silver chloride, that is a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride with the liberation of sodium nitrate. So this is an ionic reaction where the rate of the reaction varies between 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 seconds. So this reaction can be quoted for fast reactions. There are other reactions which are taking place at slower rate. The next classification is slow reactions. The reactions that are taking place at a slower rate. The reactions that take place at a slower rate. At a slower rate. Example, rusting of iron. rusting of iron in the presence of air and rusting of iron in the presence of air and moisture. So for slow reaction, that is actually the reactions that are taking place at a slower rate. So it will take a long period of time to complete the reaction. The reaction will be completed over a long period of time. So we can call such reactions as slow reactions. For example, rusting of iron, it is not an easy thing. So rusting of iron, nearly it will take a longer period of time. So iron gets rusted in the presence of air and moisture. So the reaction will be proceeding over a longer period of time. So the rate of the reaction will be greater. So in such a case we can call it as slow reaction. The reaction is taking place at slower rate. So we can call it as what is the slow reactions. Example, rusting of iron. There are some reactions which are proceeding at a moderate rate. Moderate reactions. The reactions that proceed at a moderate rate. The reactions that proceed at a moderate rate that can be determined, which can be determined in the laboratory, which can be determined in the laboratory are called moderate reactions. So some reactions are taking place at a moderate rate where the rate can be determined in the laboratory. The rate of the reaction can be easily determined in the laboratory. Such reactions are called moderate reactions. There are some examples I am going to quote for moderate reactions. For example, decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So hydrogen peroxide on heating decomposes to give water and oxygen. So this is hydrogen peroxide. On heating it decomposes to give water and oxygen. So after defining the meaning of chemical kinetics, I told about the three different types of reactions, classification of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions are classified into three different types. What are they? Fast reactions, slow reactions and moderate reactions. What are fast reactions? The reactions that are taking place at a faster rate, where the rate of the reaction varies between 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 16 seconds. The reactions are taking place at a faster rate, at a rapid rate. Such reactions are called as fast reactions. A very familiar example, all the ionic reactions, the reactions that involve the ions, we can call it as ionic reactions. I gave one example. Silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride. I got a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride with the liberation of sodium nitrate. And the second classification is slow reactions. Some of the reactions are taking place at a slower rate. We can call it as slow reactions where the reaction rate is very slow. For example, I told about rusting of iron. So iron gets rusted in the presence of air and moisture. So this rusting of iron takes place at a slower rate. So we can give example under slower reactions. And I told about the moderate reactions. Some of the reactions are taking place at a moderate speed, at a moderate rate, where the rate of those reactions can be determined in the laboratory. So there are so many reactions that are taking place at a moderate rate. For example, I have given decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So hydrogen peroxide on heating, it undergoes decomposition. So what are the products I am getting here? Water is one of the product and oxygen is another product. So here when you talk about the rate of this reaction, the reaction is taking place at a moderate speed so that the rate can be easily calculated. So such reactions are moderate reactions. So I have quoted decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to give water and oxygen. So we have talked about the different types of chemical reactions and we have classified it as fast reactions, slow reactions and moderate reactions. Now we are going to talk about another important concept, that is rate of the reaction. What do you mean by rate of the reaction? So rate of the reaction is nothing but change in the concentration of reactant or product. So usually in a chemical reaction, what are the substances involved in a chemical reaction? We need reactants as well as products, is it not? So what are the two different types of substances in a chemical reaction? We need reactants as well as products. So how will you find out the rate of the reaction? Rate of the reaction can be determined by the change in concentration of reactant or product with respect to time. So depending upon the change in the concentration of reactant or product with respect to time, we can calculate the rate of the reaction. So the next one I am going to define what is the rate of the reaction, and then I am going to derive an expression for average rate and instantaneous rate. The next one we are going to talk about the rate of the reaction. What is rate of a reaction? Rate of a reaction is defined as change in concentration the change in concentration of change in concentration of reactant or product, change in the concentration of reactant or product per unit time. So if you measure the change in the concentration of reactant or product per unit time, we can get the rate of the reaction, we can determine the rate of the reaction. So from the change in the concentration of either the reactant or the product, we can get the rate of the reaction, we can measure the rate of a chemical reaction. So rate of a reaction is nothing but the change in concentration of reactant or product per unit time. So this rate of the reaction can otherwise be called as average rate. Rate of the reaction can otherwise be called as average rate. So here I defined rate of the reaction. How can we calculate the rate of the reaction? The rate of the reaction can be calculated by change in the concentration of either the reactant or product with respect to time. So with respect to time, we have to calculate the change in concentration of reactant or product, which talks about the rate of a chemical reaction. So this rate of the reaction, otherwise we can call it as average rate. This can be otherwise called as average rate. Now we are going to derive an expression for average rate of the reaction. Expression for average rate of the reaction. expression for average rate of the reaction. So, expression for average rate of the reaction. For example, you assume R gives product, R gives P. 1 mole of the reactant gives 1 mole of the product. So, here 1 mole of the reactant gives 1 mole of the reactant gives 1 mole of the product. One mole of the reactant gives 1 mole of the product. If R1 and P1, I am going to assume R1 and P1 as the concentration of reactant and product at time T1. Let R1 and P1 be the concentration of, let R1 and P1 be the concentration of reactant and product at time T1 and R2 and P2 be the concentration of reactant and product at time T2. What is that I told you? Here we are going to derive the expression for rate of a reaction. So, actually I defined rate of the reaction, it is nothing but change in concentration of reactant or product per unit time. So, depending upon the time, we are going to see the change in the concentration of either the reactant or product. So, here I want to derive an expression for the rate of the reaction. So, what I have assumed? I have assumed R gives P. What is R actually? Reactant. What is P? Product. So, what is the stoichiometric coefficient? 1 mole of reactant gives 1 mole of the product. So, here I am assuming R1 and P1 be the concentration of reactant and product at time T1. So, at time T1, R1 is the concentration of the reactant and P1 is the concentration of the product. At time T2, R2 is the concentration of the reactant and P2 is the concentration of the product. Now, we are going to talk about the average rate of the reaction. Let us continue, children. We are going to derive the expression for rate of the reaction. I have assumed the reaction R gives P, that is 1 mole of the reactant gives 1 mole of the product. So, here what is that? I am considering the concentration of reactant and product at time T1 is equal to R1 and P1. So, R1 is the concentration of the reactant at time T1 and P1 is the concentration of the product at time T1. And I am assuming at time T2, R2 and P2 be the concentration of reactant and product. So, at time T2, R2 is the concentration of the reactant and P2 is the concentration of the product. We are going to see the next step. Rate of the reaction is equal to disappearance of the concentration of the reactant that is equal to that is actually decrease in concentration of reactant, decrease in concentration of the reactant decrease in concentration of the reactant with respect to time. Decrease in concentration of the reactant with respect to time. So, how can we calculate the rate of the reaction, that is disappearance of the concentration of the reactant divided by time, that is with respect to time. Or we can, what is the other meaning actually, what is happening to the concentration of the reactant? It decreases. When the reaction proceeds, it is going to convert into products. So, definitely what is happening, the concentration of the reactant decreases. So, reactant concentration decreases whereas the product concentration increases. So, it is going to give the products, the reactants are going to give the products. So, initially the concentration of the reactant will be greater. Slowly what is happening when the reaction proceeds, the concentration of the reactant decreases because the reaction is moving towards the formation of the products. So, either I can calculate the rate of the reaction by assuming disappearance of the concentration of the reactant divided by time, that is decrease in concentration of the reactant with respect to time, or it can be otherwise taken as appearance of concentration of the product, divided by time. That is actually increase in concentration of the product, divided by the time. Increase in concentration of the product divided by time. So, the rate of the reaction can be calculated either by decrease in concentration of the reactant with respect to time or increase in concentration of the product with respect to time. The next step, delta T is equal to T2 minus T1. Delta T is equal to T2 minus T1. Delta R is equal to R2 minus R1. R2 minus R1. Delta P is equal to P2 minus P1. So, what is that we have derived here? We are going to see the change in time. What is the delta T is nothing but change in time. How can we calculate final time minus initial time? So, T2 is nothing but final time whereas T1 is the initial time. So, delta T is nothing but change in the time, that is T2 minus T1. What is delta R? Change in the concentration of the reactant. How the concentration of the reactant changes. So, it talks about delta is nothing but difference, change. Difference in concentration of the reactant, and what is that here actually R2 is the final concentration and R1 is the initial concentration. So, difference between the final and the initial concentration. And what is delta P? It is nothing but difference in concentration of the products, that is the final concentration of the product minus the initial concentration of the product. So, from this we are going to calculate average rate. average rate of the reaction in terms of the reactants, average rate of the reactant in terms of the reactant is equal to minus delta R divided by delta T. So, we are going to talk about the average rate of the reaction. I am going to calculate the average rate in terms of the concentration of the reactant, in terms of the reactant. So, in terms of the reactant, the average rate can be determined as minus delta R by delta T. Why it is negative here? Negative sign indicates that the concentration of the reactant decreases. Concentration of the reactant decreases. So, negative sign here indicates that when the reaction proceeds, the concentration of the reactant decreases because it is going to give the products. So, the product concentration will be greater, at the same time the reaction concentration becoming less. So, the average rate of the reaction with reference to reactant can be calculated as minus delta R by delta T, where minus sign indicates the concentration of the reactant decreases. As the concentration of the reactant decreases, I have denoted it by negative sign. So, minus delta R by delta T. What is delta R? From this we can calculate minus delta R is nothing but R2 minus R1. Delta R is nothing but R2 minus R1. What is delta T? T2 minus T1. So, we are going to derive the average rate of the reaction in terms of reactants. As already I told you, when the reaction proceeds, the concentration of the reactant decreases because the reactant is going to give the products now. The reactant is combining to give the products now. So, here what is happening, as the concentration of the reactant decreases with respect to time, so I am going to define the average rate as minus delta R by delta T. So, what is this negative sign? It talks about the decrease in concentration of the reactant, and actually what is delta R? How can be calculated? Delta R is nothing but R2 minus R1. What is R2? Final concentration. We are going to see the next page. What is R2 here? R2 is nothing but final concentration of the reactant. Final concentration of the reactant. Final concentration of the reactant. What is R1? R1 is nothing but initial concentration of the reactant. Initial concentration of the reactant. Initial concentration of the reactant. This square bracket indicates the molar concentration. Square bracket indicates the molar concentration of reactants. Square bracket indicates the molar concentration of the reactants. Now we are going to determine, there is another way of determining the rate of the reaction in terms of the product. Average rate of the reaction in terms of the product. So how will you calculate the average rate of the reaction in terms of the product? There is an expression, average rate of the reaction in terms of the product is equal to delta P divided by delta T. Delta P divided by delta T. There is another way of determining the average rate of the reaction with respect to the product or in terms of the product, which is nothing but average rate of the reaction is equal to delta P by delta T. What is delta P? P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1. What is delta T? T2 minus T1. So average rate is equal to delta P by delta T, which is nothing but molar concentration of P2 minus molar concentration of P1 divided by T2 minus T1. Actually, as the product concentration increases, the plus sign denotes as the product concentration increases, with respect to time. With respect to time. Here P2 is nothing but final concentration of product. P2 is nothing but final concentration of the product, whereas P1 is nothing but initial concentration of the product. Whereas the square bracket signifies the molar concentration molar concentration of products. So actually I have derived the expression for average rate of the reaction. So rate of the reaction or average rate of the reaction both are same. How can we calculate the average rate of the reaction? Either decrease in concentration of A divided by time or increase in concentration of the product divided by time. I have assumed the general equation R gives P, where 1 mole of the reactant gave 1 mole of the product. Here the stoichiometric coefficient of both R and P are similar, it is 1, unity. And what I have done, actually the rate of the reaction can be measured either in terms of the concentration of the reactant or in terms of the concentration of the product. I have assumed R1 and P1 the concentration of the reactant and product at time T1, and R2 and P2 the concentration of reactant and product at time T2. Based on this, I started to derive the expression for average rate. So average rate of the reaction in terms of the reactant, actually in a reaction, when the reaction proceeds, the concentration of the reactant decreases. So decrease in concentration of R divided by time taken. So how I have indicated average rate is equal to minus delta R by delta T. Why it is negative there? What is that negative sign indicates? It shows that when the reaction proceeds, the concentration of the reactant decreases. As the concentration of the reactant decreases, I am indicating it by negative sign. So minus delta R by delta T. What is delta R? R2 minus R1. What is R2? Final concentration of the reactant minus initial concentration of the reactant. What is delta T? Difference in time, that is final time and initial time, T2 minus T1. If we are going to talk about the average rate in terms of the products, so in such a case, increase in concentration of the product divided by time. So what is that? How are we indicating? Average rate of the reaction in terms of the product is equal to plus delta P by delta T. What is delta P? Change, difference in concentration, difference in final and initial concentration, that is P2 minus P1, whereas delta T is nothing but T2 minus T1. So why we are indicating the square bracket? The square bracket indicates about the molar concentrations of reactants and products. So today I have arrived the expression for average rate of the reaction. I have defined the average rate also. Up to this I am concluding today. I want everybody to go through this. Tomorrow we are going to see the graphical representation of average rate. At the same time we are going to talk about the instantaneous rate also, and we are going to talk about the graphical representation of instantaneous rate. Thank you, children.